Welcome to Igniting Inspired Insight, a space for real conversations with incredible humans. In each short episode, we get to explore three questions that open the door to reflection, resonance, and revelation. And I'm really excited to be here with a dear friend who I actually haven't seen in a long time. So this is extra exciting. And to see where this ignition takes us. This is a space for truth, trust, and the kind of insight that comes from being truly human. And let's begin. So today, I'm dialing in from across the world with a dear friend, Jarek, who I met, it could be 8 or so years ago now, traveling the world and exploring the world of yoga and wholeness. And yeah, like I said, I'm really excited to see where this conversation goes. I thought of you because of the depth of our previous conversations and our friendship, and the time it takes afterwards, after our conversations, for me to like align and process everything that comes through. So I was excited for us to do that here. So I'm really honored to introduce Jarek, and I wanted to just like flick that over to you and share with those who are listening. Who's Jarek?
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, we have had some nice chats, haven't we? Who is Jarek? Jarek is almost in his midlife, somewhere approaching his midlife journey as a man. He is quite a sovereign person as far as how he carries himself through life and his sort of his journey away from a lot of the noise that the world is and a lot of the rabbit holes that a lot of society gets stuck in. I'll go back to I instead of he.
Yeah.
But I tend to walk my own walk and do I'm learning a lot better to trust my I've always trusted my intuition and where it takes me. Like that's always kind of been my clock internally and where life has taken me. But I don't know, in the last few years I've really realized like the power of that and how that is just like life itself. Yeah. I like to move around the world geographically. And just see what people come into my space. And based on it's been interesting to witness myself based on the energy I carry to see who comes into my life in different parts of my life and different geographical locations in my life.
It's a beautiful reflection, right?
Yeah. I think, I haven't been rooted in many years, and I'm definitely craving and seeking that for the last couple of years. And things are slowly starting to land within that, but it's an interesting transition to want to have a place to call home more permanently than a few good months.
Yeah. Personally, I feel that. It's literally where I'm at now too. It's like, and there's even like giving myself that, there's like this discomfort because it hasn't been the way I've been wired. So it's like, oh no, I have a place to land now. But I was like, noticed that part of me that's like always planning the next step because of being so used to that travel and that transience, which was so rich and beautiful. So I hear you. And I think it's a necessary piece of being able to step out of the noise as well, is having that foundation to grow from.
Yeah, totally. Totally. It's interesting because, yeah, if you want to be outside of the noise, you have to like really find, you can't root down anywhere if you want to sort of be outside of the noise. In some capacity, you do need like-minded humans around, and you do need, yeah, maybe away from whether it's city noise or whatever other noise one is referring to. Like, yeah. So there is some, I don't know, it's got to feel good. Yeah, it just has to feel good. Yeah.
In alignment.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
one.
Okay, my friend, I have a question for you. The first
Mm.
question is, and when I ask this, it's that I love the fact that everybody answers this question. It's divinely different, the answers they give. It's so common that people say, well, there isn't one experience, but however, there'll be one that you feel like sharing today. So, what is one moment, belief, or experience that changed the way you see the world?
Yeah, the first thing that comes to mind is I lost my spleen when I was like 16, 17, 16 in like a freak accident. And then I like almost died, went to the hospital, was there for like almost a month. And then when I was getting out of the hospital, they gave me like this whole booklet of things not that I cannot do for the rest of my life. It's like this is gonna kill me, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't get very far through the first page, and I might have like skimmed a few pages, but I read like a little bit of the first page and then skimmed a couple, just see like the big letters, the bolded ones of what they wanted. And I was like, fuck that. Like, I'm not putting this in my body, like in my mind. And I remember that. And it wasn't like there was no thought behind it that I thought I was like there was no like intellectual thought process there. Like it was just this like no, like get this away from me. Like I'm fine. I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna like my body is gonna adapt. Whatever. Like I knew enough at that time that you can live without a spleen. And there was just this like power, like this really strong power energy, like not to consume this. And then over the years, like this was early 20s, um, as I was starting to like grasp what was happening, and then I met a few people without a spleen, and they were always on antibiotics, and they were always very sickly, and this and that. That really mm, like that really kind of showed me that I am like the force within my life,
Mm-hmm.
and I get to make the decisions. And like I said, there was no intellectual thought process, which was really interesting because I didn't think about this kind of stuff back then.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that really helped. Yeah, that really had a significant impact going forward, because then like in my late 20s, I started like um, more intellectually thinking about this sort of stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and it started making more sense. And then I started seeing other areas of my life where uh, that is important for me. But that was like really the foundation, I think, like the subconscious foundation to like move forward in my own way.
Mm-hmm.
And then later, based on who I am and who I've become, it just helped like shape. Mm, it like solidified. It like solidified other areas of my life, that this is like this mentality and this way of being, like yeah, just is the way for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, yeah, if that makes sense.
It makes
Um,
complete sense. It's also like a reflection of what you said in the beginning, like that your intuition is like a clock and it's your guidance system. And I can also reflect on moments that when in my younger self where there wasn't an intellectual conversation, I just knew. that was in alignment or it wasn't, was the key, is what you're saying here. It's like, that's not in alignment with me. It's what I'm being told to do, but it's not in alignment with me. And I don't know why. I'm not even really going to think about it. I'm just going to go with that knowing. And then to look back and to see how that ripple effect is shaped, as you said, the way you see the world, but also the way you show up is a really powerful thing. I actually love those moments of reflection. It's like, I didn't know why I was doing that at that time, but now I do.
Right, right, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love
And
that too.
it's yeah, yeah. And I remember the same in different situations in my life, and actually the first one that came to mind, and I love that you've sort of inspired that thought for me as well, is that 21, newly single, just really pivotal moment in my life. And I was like, I don't want to take this pill anymore. Like, this is gross. I don't know why I'm taking this. And in the like practical sense, newly single, coming off the pill, I was like, I don't know why. But and again, I didn't have that conversation with myself. I just knew that I didn't want that. And it's not similar to your experience, but it is in that it was a knowing without needing to have a conversation. And looking back now, I was like, I wanted to disconnect from pharmaceutical. I didn't want that in my body. I wanted to reconnect with the natural cycles of, and that with that internal wisdom. So it's really similar in that, like, I didn't know why I did it, but now I do. And it's so
Mm,
powerful. And I do think, same as you, it was like a catalyst for really creating my own knowing and trusting my own path.
mm,
Mm,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
very special.
It is very special. Yeah, yeah. It's interesting. Like, yeah, we just like, yeah, yeah. I think that's just like that is everything. It's funny. I've had a couple chats with friends about religion lately, and just different religions from different parts of the world. And then I started thinking more lately, like, what are these like what are religions, right? Like, and I have someone who cites Muhammad the Prophet all the time in my last 10 years of my life, and there's a lot of Jesus, people, and all this kind of stuff. And then I started thinking about each religion kind of has like this character, whether they're real or not. I don't know. I wasn't there, but
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
they're all kind of like connected to something. um, and then and then yeah, communities are built around these religions, but like when you look at these characters, they're all just like connected to themselves. That's the way I see it. Like they're connected to, yeah, people say source, the divine, the many words for that one. But
Yep.
uh, yeah, from little that I know, and it feels like from the little bit that I have read, is that they were just like super like intuitively, like within their own kind of guidance, the guidance intuitive system.
Mm-hmm.
um, and then that's kind of the way I see it, is like that's what people praise. And then that kind of like, and that kind of like loops around for me into this other part where it's um like like intuitively, like if we walk into a room and we maybe know some people, maybe we don't know some, but if we like intuitively want to spit something out because we just feel it, like if someone interacts with somebody and we say something and it may not land for them, may not be true, but
Mm-hmm.
often when people speak from that, like this quick, like without getting their minds involved, like there's so much truth there. Like for me, when I receive that from people, um
Agreed.
so it's really interesting. Yeah, I don't know.
Mm. Yeah, I love that. And I mean, that kind of leads us into this next question, right? Which is, in the moment, and that's a question that you don't know you're going to be answering. So it's like it, and it's meant for inspiring, what comes through for you, but also what's true for you in this moment. And the question that I have for you is, what is a question that you've been sitting with lately?
What is a question I've been sitting with lately?
Hmm.
What is a question that I've been sitting with lately? Um, I think the first thing that pops to mind is like, I mean, I have a lot of questions. Like half my head is white, if not three quarters. But the first thing that pops to me lately of where I'm at in life is like I look at my past like relationships, like intimate relationships, and I've been trying to. It's not really like one question, but I've been kind of like dissecting my own experience through my own childhood and how that's reflected back in like my intimate relationships, based on whether it's like, yeah, just things that I've projected onto my partners, how they have shown up to me, what I've seen, and through the lens I've been seeing it. That's been really interesting for me. Um, yeah. And then I think there's some overlap there with like the reason I kind of been sitting with that for the last while. Or I shouldn't say sitting with it, but something that's kind of more or less present, I guess, is is yeah, like I want to make sure like there was like back to this intuition talk. If I look at my past relationships, every single one of them at the start had this intuitive moment. Like there's always this like intuitive like this is like this right here what you just saw or what you experienced is going to come back to you in like a very interesting way if you continue down this. And it always has, and whether it was a year or two later, whatever it was. But I didn't listen to that intuition, right? Because you know sometimes the genitals do the talking or whatever it is. It's just interesting, right? Like in that moment you kind of like you go past it, you're like no like we can figure that out or whatever it is. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think that's like one. I don't know if that answers your question. I think that's one
No, I
question,
hear
but
you. I hear
it's
you.
like this overlap thing that's been
You're in
over like this
contemplation
whole
of
bubble
what's
of things.
been. Yeah.
Yeah, contemplation of what's been, and also like wanting to make sure I trust myself. Um, yeah, not trust myself, but want to make sure that like yeah, like yeah,
Listen.
I don't not listen exactly. Like I do
Yeah.
listen.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think
As
that's
far
really
as like
powerful.
yeah.
Is what I'm hearing is like noticing the areas in our life where so we've been talking about how there's big parts of our life where we trust our knowing and we're going with our intuition and we're really solid with that, but then acknowledging that there's areas in our life where we might disregard that for other reasons. And in
Well,
relationship it's
yeah,
for lust or it's for affection or it's for attention, and those things
yeah.
take precedence to that intuition that may be like, it's a little, and what some people might describe as a red flag or an orange flag. It's like, and then you look back and you're like, I fucking knew that.
Right, right. And that's the funny part about that one is like the body or the you know like my own internal guidance system spoke to that. Like it saw that, it brought it up for me, and like I went around it. So it is actually funny, really funny in contrast to our first part of this chat. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
it is. It's like the opposite. But I do think that there's powerful contemplation in that, as well as you're acknowledging, like looking backward in order to be in alignment with yourself for what might come ahead.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I no longer believe that anything's an accident. Like
No.
that's kind of more recent for me in the last maybe couple of years, short couple of years. Yeah, like absolutely nothing has been an accident in my life. Like I don't believe that anymore. And like
Yeah.
just the synchronicities like of the universe and just life around is like it's really interesting what happens when you kind of like uh, not just stay open to it and not necessarily seek it everywhere, but trust like back to the intuitive thing of like of them showing up when they do and perhaps just following that and seeing
Yeah.
what happens. It's fascinating.
I agree. And that requires definitely a certain level of presence. And I don't
Yeah.
know, like as you said, I don't know that you can seek it, because the moment you're seeking it, it won't actually be truly
Right.
synchronicity, right? As well,
Right.
for
Right. Right.
me, I don't know about you, but like when those synchronicities arise, and there's that presence and that, and for me, it's like gratitude and appreciation for that, but also that to me is an ultimate signal of me being in alignment with the universe. When those
Mm,
synchronicities are arising and I'm seeing them, therefore I'm at a certain level of presence and awareness, then I'm in alignment with what's true for me.
mm. So would you say that if they're not showing up, then would you say that you're not in alignment, or you're just not being present? Or I guess that's kind of the same.
No, I don't know if they are the same. Sometimes it could be because I'm not in alignment and I'm not listening.
So you're not
And it's,
present if you're not.
well, yeah, I guess so. Sometimes it's just like, are you in your head, or are you like caught up in the humanness and therefore not present? Other times it's
Mm,
literally like the choices you've made mean that you're not in alignment, therefore the synchronicities aren't coming through because
mm,
you've gone off your path.
mm. Yeah.
But I think presence is required either way so that you can come back into that
Mm,
alignment that will maybe bring synchronicity, because I can't say it will, because then that's an expectation and that's the opposite of synchronicity.
right. Right.
Yeah. I think, it's a beautiful thing. Synchronicities, surprises, and a lot of people say there aren't any accidents, and I completely believe that too, as you said. And I also I don't believe in regret. Like it happened because it happened, and it's there for a reason,
Right.
and take it as it
Right.
was and learn and move on.
Totally.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. And
Mm,
to me, that's really being in the learning and the listening of the life that we've been given, is seeing it that way. And it's a
mm.
choice.
Yeah. Yeah, it is a choice. I agree. Um, yeah, it's a choice. And everyone's on their journey,
Hmm.
within their own choices and their own capacity of whatever they presume that presence or love or anger or whatever it is.
Hmm. And then living in not right or wrong, but living in the consequences of those choices, good or bad
Yeah.
or indifferent.
Well, that's the beauty of life, no?
Yes, exactly.
Mm.
Here we are in the third question, which is reflecting light. So now you get to ask me a question.
My question to you is, tell me the first three things that pop to mind when I ask you to tell me about the most joyful, happy moments that you've encountered in your life.
3 things that pop into my mind. They're really interesting. So the first one was just after when my sister died, there were on the windowsill in the house, there were these butterflies, and they were still in their chrysalis. And no kidding, like 2 days after she died, the house was really quiet. Everyone had gone. And I was sitting in the front room where these chrysalises were in meditation, and they started to come out. And they just came and sat on my body, like all of them. And they were just like, because they want to like slowly let their wings dry. So they're not ready to fly off yet, but they also chose to just kind of like be on me. And it was just like such this deep connection. And it felt like in a very short space of time, she was coming through. And so the first thing I saw when I closed my eyes was a monarch butterfly, and then remembering that
Mm,
in that moment, and just how special that was to, in this moment of such rawness of all the human expression, because it wasn't just sadness, it wasn't just grief, there was relief, there was release, there was contentment that the suffering was over. Like there was so many things, the complexity of it. There was this beauty and awe of what's magical about the universe.
Mm.
And then I think the second one, the joy, would just be, and it's very much about my sister, but being on our last road trip together and just spending that time in such freedom, while knowing that this was like her last hurrah. Like, we knew she was going to be dying, so this trip was to have a great time.
Mm.
And our mission was like, okay, a lot of people, when they know that death is coming, they're in the death. They're that's all they focus on. And we were like, no, like, how can we live the very most that you can in this moment and just make it fucking incredible? And so that was the next moment of joy, was just having that time with her.
Mm.
And it was just so incredibly liberating. And then third one, it hasn't dropped in for me yet. Oh, and perhaps it's because we're having this conversation, but it was actually in Bali, and yourself, me, Lacey, and Jack was sitting around the table at Shady Shack. And I just had this beautiful moment of joy. And I think I remember saying that to you guys. Like, I really, really deeply feel so incredibly grateful for the connections and just feeling a new level of friendship, I think.
Mm.
And so that's a moment that popped into me.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's
because that's, I think, what life has taught me up to this point, is that true joy, whether it be in the past, whether it be right now, or when I'm on my deathbed, is in the connections that I've made and how I've nourished them and the adventures that we've had. And whether that be adventure as in you see it as an outward adventure, exploring somewhere, or whether that adventure is building a better relationship, is through conflict, is through like really meeting all of our needs and desires at whatever level or type of relationship that is, but like really truly being seen.
Mm.
That's joy to me. Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah. Yeah. That's amazing.
Can you share one?
Yeah. I think it's it's actually quite similar to your last one. It's probably just piggybacking off of it, but it's like in the last in the last couple of short years, like I've really like attracted, not just attracted, but like I'm moving forward through in my life with people who like I cherish, and they cherish me, and like and understand, and just like very joyful connections that are like fill my heart. And yeah, there was a moment in the last few months, if we were just talking about one moment, where I just like really felt this in my whole being, and it was really beautiful to like feel that, notice that, and I don't remember what I was doing. I was probably on my daily walk on the beach. That's when I get my alone time away from everything,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, I just remember this a lot of gratitude running through my body, and yeah,
So feelings
and
that really create that impact, right?
yeah, the feelings that create that impact, yeah, and just also having like such a solid connection with my mom, and just the openness of it all, and
Mm-hmm.
there's not there's not much masks going on. I don't want to say any,
No, I
with
know that.
some,
Yeah.
because
I get
sometimes
that.
they probably poke through in family dynamics, but
Yeah.
um yeah, but it feels really nice where it's at. Yeah.
I love that. I love your mom. She's a beautiful human too. So I
Yeah.
totally get that. That's so special. But it is,
Mm.
it's connections and love, right? Like that's the deepest joy I see in all its complexities and commitment.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Totally.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much for spending some time chatting today, and I hope that we get to do that again.
Mm.
And I wanted to share before we come to completion that, I'm also super inspired by Human You Are, which is the project that you're working on, which people will be able to find on in socials, and I'll link it here. And yeah, it's such a special offering to the world, and I
It
really
will be.
you're doing it will be. Well, I mean, we're it's always growing.
It's always growing. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. No, it feels good. Yes, thank you. Um, is there another question for me?
Nope. That's it.
Oh, I thought you had
Yeah.
another question.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm so grateful we got to connect for a moment too.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I love that you're doing this, and yeah, more heart to hearts are good for the world. There's yeah, I think people struggle to connect even within like friend circles, and
Yeah.
there's there's just a lot of beating around the bush, and people tend to get therapists for to have a weekly friend basically,
Mhm. Yeah.
and it's a weird thing
And
for me.
what you're alluding to is exactly the purpose of this conversation, is just understanding how much can be um, released and also realized through just being in conversation without needing it to be a certain outcome.
Right.
Being in the contemplation of life, and not just sharing but listening. And I think that's
Mm.
so special. So
Right. I
yeah.
mean, there's nothing better than like when connecting with people than like just seeing where they're truly at, or hearing you know
Mhm.
like what they're going through or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like, I don't know. I love it. There's nothing like as joyful as that for me.
Agreed. Agreed. So here's to more of that. So, for those of you
So
who have been listening, take a breath, let what you've heard settle in. These insights aren't just stories, they're invitations, and perhaps an invitation to open up a conversation with someone around you. And until next time, may you walk with awareness, speak with truth, and live in what lights you up. And I want to thank you, Jarek, for being here.
thank you.
Mm.